Hello and welcome to the Before You Bet Racing preview for the first day of the new racing season for 2020-2021. Saturday the 1st of August, previewing all the action at Royal Randwick in Sydney and Moonee Valley in Melbourne. I'm your host, Tim Geers, joined as always by the silent assassin, Trent Crebbin, who's held down the fort in my absence for the last few weeks, but it's good to be back and good to join you once again. Trent, how's things?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Good to have you back and just to focus on Melbourne myself for a bit longer. I was getting sick of those Sydney tracks, so glad for you to take back over again.
Yeah, they are a bit tiresome, these heavy tracks day after day, but this is winter racing, so we'll just continue the grind through and look forward to some of the better horses returning as we kick off the new season. Now, this week we're brought to you by the boys at PlayUp, so if you are having a bet, make sure you jump over to PlayUp and check out all of their markets for the weekend's action. As I've mentioned, we're at Randwick in Sydney and Moonee Valley in Melbourne as we kick off the Cox Plate Carnival, or at least the build-up to the Cox Plate Carnival down in Melbourne, provided it does go ahead with everything going on at the moment. Now, at Moonee Valley, we're rated a soft 5 currently with the rail in the true position. Trent, how do you think the track will play this Saturday?
I think it'll play fairly. Moonee Valley is always a little bit on pace, but I think the rail in the true position, it tends to play a little bit better than when the rail's out. So I think horses just off the speed, not coming too wide. You probably don't want to make a long winding run, but coming just off the speed should be suited there. Yeah, I think it'll play okay.
Over in Sydney at Randwick, as I've mentioned, we're on a heavy 9 with the rail in the 9-metre position. As to how the track's going to play there, I have absolutely no idea because every weekend at the moment, or every metropolitan meeting at the moment, it's a complete guessing game in Sydney. We've seen a monorail at Canterbury. We've seen the rail completely off at Rose Hill. We've seen a Leaders Highway at Kensington. So it's basically lucky dip this week with the rail in the 9 position, but we'll be sure to watch the first few races and see how it does play and see if any pattern does eventuate. We'll get straight into our best bets for the weekend, again, courtesy of PlayUp, and we'll kick off with you, Trent, over at Moonee Valley. Your best bet comes up in the first race of the day. It's only short, but you think the favourite number 6, Victoria Star, can get the job done, coming off a third placing in the Winter Championship final last start.
Yeah, I'm pretty keen on Victoria Star. I've kind of been following it, this preparation, and I've had it on top a couple of times. I thought it was really good last start at the first run at the mile in the Winter Championship final, running third behind Sir Coney, who was a dominant winner. Has that first mile run under the belt now, so it should hold it in good stead for the second run here. They actually beat home number 1 Vacillator in that run, who was a touch unlucky. I think some people are overplaying that though. I thought Vacillator had his chance later in the race, and Victoria Star was comfortably holding him through the line. And Victoria Star actually meets Vacillator 3 kilos better for that run. So I think Newitt can just roll across from the outside barrier, posse up nice and handy, and I don't think anything's going to be turning the tables on him. So yeah, I'm pretty keen Victoria Star gets the job done.
I suppose the big query with Victoria Star is that all of her victories have come on wet ground. If the track does get upgraded to a good 4, do you think that's going to have an impact at all, or do you think the price will drift out a bit? We might be able to wait till jump time.
Yeah, I think it opened up a touch short for my liking. I was hoping for even money or better, and it opened around, I think it's around $1.85 with PlayUp. I don't think it's hopeless on good ground. It ran third on a good 4 at Caulfield, which is probably drier than a soft 5-ish good 4 at the Valley, which tends to hold a little bit more moisture. And ran a good third there, only beaten a length. And then last start was a soft 6 at Flemington, which is again probably a little bit drier than what you'd suggest at the Valley, and was really good there as well. So if it was really wet, I'd declare it. It'd be an absolute moral. But even on the soft 5 at the Valley, I think it's still very hard to beat.
Yeah, I think we will get a better price as we kind of wait for a little bit, especially if that track does become upgraded before the first race of the day. We'll get into your best value bet of the day. It comes up in race number 6. You've got a 2-horse play here. On top is number 1 Wagner at $19 at PlayUp, having his third start for the new stable, Joseph Waldron, of course, formerly with Godolphin. You're also keen on Sir Galahad at around $11.
Yeah, so I'll start with Wagner. He's had a few convictions. He's gone under at a couple of short quotes. He started at $1.60 at this track last preparation or a few runs back and got rolled. But I think he's actually going pretty well. I think his best runs as well have come on good ground, and he should get that here. Last start, he was only beaten under 2 lengths at this track by some good horses in grade again and More Than Exceed. Ashlaw, kind of those Group 3 kind of sprinters. And I think dropping in grade here, he looks a big price at around $19 with PlayUp. Over to Sir Galahad as well. He has an easy form line to tie in with More Than Exceed as well. It went very quick last start at Sandown, got an uncontested lead, but went pretty fast up front and just ran them into the ground, winning by about 5 lengths. The form out of that race is really good. More Than Exceed came out and won the Mildura Cup next start, and the Import Global Gift ran a really good second as well at his next start. So I think at the Valley should suit. He'll cop a little bit more pressure with a few horses rolling forward this time, but I really love that last start win, and I think he's just as good on firmer ground as well. So I'm pretty happy to take on the favourite there and have a 2-horse play with Wagner and Sir Galahad.
Yeah, the favourite there is Wilmot Pass, who is the play-up play of the day this weekend. So take advantage of the enhanced odds there. It's currently $2.50 around most of the corporate bookies, but there's $3.20 available with play-up as their play of the day. We'll shift over to Sydney now, over to Randwick. As I've mentioned, we're expecting a very heavy track, a little bit of an unknown with how the track will play. My best comes up in race number 3. It's a Godolphin horse, number 7, Cordia. Godolphin's been pretty good to me on this show previously, back before the break. I think we nailed two or three in a row from the same stable, and I'm sticking fat here with Godolphin. Number 7, Cordia, currently $2.15 with play-up. Wouldn't surprise me to see it start shorter. Resumed from a spell with a really, really good win, and then last start just had nothing go its way in terms of the way the race was run. It was a day that was very difficult to make ground out wide on the track and back from back in the field. A day that certainly suited the on paces, and this horse came from basically last and ran home well into 4th. It was a great run against the pattern of the day, providing we get an even track today. We've got small field. I think that's going to be suitable. And with 52 kilos on the back, I think it'll be very, very hard to beat the favourite. My only little query is the jockey change from Tommy Berry to Kathy O'Hara. That's a little bit of a question mark, but I just think this horse would be too good for these horses at the weights. As I've mentioned, 52 kilos on the back, only beaten 1.7 lengths last start, as I said, coming from last on a day where you really had to be up on the speed. So that is race number 3, horse number 7, Cordia. And Trent, I know that you're pretty keen as well.
Yeah, it's one of the only kind of ones I was really keen on at Randwick. I saw it open around the 220-ish mark, and I thought that was great value. I thought it'd open odds on. So I'm pretty keen it wins. The run last start was enormous. There should be a bit of pressure up front with You Make Me Smile, Man of Peace. So I'm pretty confident Cordy gets the job done.
Yeah, and that's a good point, that pace. Even though we do have small numbers in the field, there does look to be a couple of horses that land on speed and run them along, which certainly should bring Cordia into the race. We'll move on to my best value bet of the day. My best roughie comes up in race number 8, and I am sticking with horse number 9, Etheridge, at around about $19 with play-up. This horse was beaten 6 lengths first up at Warwick Farm, but don't worry about that. Finished 7th of the 9 runners. This horse has only ever won once first up from a spell from 6 attempts, but if you look at his second up record, he's had 3 starts for a win and 2 second placings. So quite clearly she improves with a run under her belt. She's won on soft ground twice before, and invariably runners from this stable, John Thompson, the John Thompson stable, they do kind of improve with a run under their belt. It's pretty rare that he gets his runners to win first up from a spell, but they generally improve second and third up. So it does look a competitive race. She's drawn wide in barrier 12. Jason Collett replaces Nashra Willa. But I just thought at $19 for a horse that's proven in the past that it can improve second up from a spell, it's a decent price to find out. And as I said, drawn wide in 12, but provided the track does play fairly, we should be able to see horses coming down the outside, especially this late in the day, race 8, on what's going to be a very rain-affected track. So $19, good enough for me to find out. I think there's probably another good bet in the race in terms of number 10, Montefilia. She's a 3-year-old filly currently around the $6 mark. But, I think the best roughie of the day is number 9, Etheridge. Trent, any other thoughts throughout the day at Moonee Valley or Randwick?
Jumping back over to the Valley, I thought race number 7, number 7, Polly Gray is probably my next best of the day. Around that 420, 440 mark, I believe she is. She's really building towards a win. Was very unlucky last start at Flemington at 2,000 metres. Second time at 2,000 here at the Valley, the Cox Plate trip. Just needs a bit of luck. Does get back a little bit, but Damien Lane returning to Australia. I think this will be his first winner back in the country.
Beautiful stuff, mate. Well, I think before I went out for a break, we nailed 6 best bets in a row. So let's hope now that I'm back, we can continue up where we left off and find a few winners for the punters this week. If you are chasing our previews, make sure you head over to beforeyoubet.com.au. If you're having a bet, head to PlayUp and take advantage of their play of the day if you're keen on Wilmot Pass. And if you are having a bet this weekend, please do so responsibly. Trent, thanks for your efforts. Good luck on the weekend.
No worries. See you, Tim.